Today I'm going to show you how to make an easy petal purse in about 10 to 15 minutes. You're going to need the pattern pieces for this purse. The link in the description box will bring you to those pattern pieces. You're going to print them out, cut them out, and then you'll be ready to go. So first thing is your strap. So for children, choking hazard guidelines is not to make a strap more than 15 inches. The pattern pieces give you multiple pattern pieces for different lengths. You can adjust those if you want. Make them longer, make them shorter. They can be a crossbody or a shoulder bag. So first get your strap. You're going to place it face down and go ahead and iron it flat. Then you're going to fold it in half hot dog style. And you're going to press this with your iron so that you make a crease right down the middle. I like to use a little bit of water to steam it in my iron. As I go, it helps it make it stay more flat. Open that back up and you'll see the middle crease there, and bring the bottom edge up to that crease. It doesn't have to be perfect, but try to make it as straight as you can and then iron it flat. Now you're going to grab the top edge and pull it down to that middle crease, and you're going to iron that part flat. Now get both folded ends and fold them together and press that with your iron. Use a little bit of steam on your iron to help that press stay so you don't have to pin or clip this as you sew. And you're just going to sew a straight line all the way atop down your strap. Try to stay close to the edge like you see here. Don't worry about those raw edges. Those are going to be hidden inside of your purse. Next, we're going to make the bag closure. You're going to get your two fabrics and place them with the wrong sides or the right sides together. Put your pattern piece on top of the fabric that you want showing on the outside of your purse and trace all the way around it. Now that you've done that, go ahead and cut that pattern piece out on your fabric, and it should look like this. Now you're going to have two mirrored pieces of fabric. That's why you wanted to make sure they were either right sides together or wrong sides together. Now go ahead and put the right sides together, pin or clip them in place, and sew all the way around your bag, but leaving the entire top open. Don't sew the top. It should look like this when you're done. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to clip that corner at the bottom, and you're going to clip a couple of notches in your fabric around any curves. This reduces the bulk and any puckering and stuff like that whenever you flip the fabric right side out. Now you're going to turn this right side out. Smoothing out your seams on the sides with your finger. I love to use a chopstick with everything that I sew, so I always pull those out in my videos. Once you've gotten the seams smoothed out, you're going to press this flat with your iron. Make sure you get out any wrinkles. And then you're going to put this to the side. Next, we're going to make the bottom of your purse, the outer bag and the bag lining. You need 4 pieces of fabric, 2 for your lining and 2 for your outer bag. Doesn't matter which way they're laying, just stack them all on top of each other. And then you're going to get your pattern piece and you're going to trace this on the top piece of fabric, and then you're just going to cut your fabric out along your traced line. This is the quickest and easiest way to get these all cut out at once instead of doing it one by one. Now you're going to cut this and separate your lining fabric pieces and your outer bag lining pieces. Get your 2 outer bag pieces that you want to show on the outside of your purse and put them right sides together and clip or pin them a few times all the way around, but not on the top. Now you're going to sew all the way around, but not on the top, leaving that top open. Go ahead and clip a few notches around the corners of this fabric so that you reduce that bulk when you flip it right side out. And now you can turn this right side out, smoothing out those seams. Again, I use the chopstick, and you don't have to press this yet if you don't want to. Now you're going to get the bag handles that you made and put them approximately 1 centimeter away from the edges, and then lay your bag closure piece right on top with the outer bag lining face down. Now you're going to clip or pin this in place, but not getting that bottom piece of fabric while you do so. I would clip or pin it right over where you put the handles so that the handles stay in place while you sew this in just a second. Now using a 1/4 seam allowance, go ahead and sew right across the top, but making sure not to sew that bottom piece. This is what it should look like, right close to the edge there, just to hold everything in place. You should not have sewn that bottom piece so it can still open like a pocket. Now get your handles, and you're going to place them right inside under that flap. Don't bring it up to the top. You're going to sew there in a minute. Make sure it's right there at the bottom. Now get your bag lining pieces and put them right sides together. This is the inside of your purse. You're going to make a mark at the bottom if you need to, or you can remember to leave a 2 to 3 inch opening at the bottom, and then you're going to sew the sides all the way to that opening line on both sides. Make sure don't sew across that bottom and don't sew across the top. This is what it should look like when you're done. You can see I stopped sewing to make sure that there was an opening there at the bottom, and you'll see why in just a little bit. So go ahead and cut that just like so, getting your notches cut so that your fabric is good when it's turned. But you're not going to turn this right side out quite yet. Keep it just like that. And now get your outer pocket and put it right inside of your lining. You're going to match it up at the seams, the lining, and your outer purse, and pin or clip them together at the seams. Go ahead and do a couple more pins just to hold everything in place. And then using a 3/8 of an inch or 1 centimeter seam allowance, sew across that top. That will hide the line that you sewed using a 1/4 seam allowance to put the bag straps in place a second ago. Now go to the opening at the bottom and pull that fabric so that it's all right side out. When you do that, go ahead and smoothen the seams with your finger or my handy chopstick. And then you're going to press it flat. Now going to the opening at the bottom of your lining, fold the fabric inwards on both sides, just so it's flush with the rest of that curve at the bottom. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is the lining of your bag. You can either hand sew this closure closed with a hidden stitch, but it's the lining of the bag, so I normally just use my sewing machine right at the edges and sew that small line closed. And there's the closure. And next you're just going to put your lining inside of the bag, smoothen out your seams, and you're done. Now it's completely optional, but you can top stitch right there at the opening where my fingers are so that all the fabric always stays in place, but it's not necessary. It all stays pretty well. You can also add a Velcro snap button kind of closure at the bottom of that petal corner if you want to, but the bag really does stay where it is. And this one specifically is for children. You can make them for adults too, but there's no need to add anything. And this is what it looks like completely finished. I would love it if you shared pictures of your final product that you made with my pattern. I'll be happy to share them on my Facebook, on my Instagram for my patterns, and give credit to you or your shop. I love supporting small businesses. Have a great day.